Yeah. So can you please confirm my voice is audible or not?
Audible.
And hope my screen also visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So in morning session we discussed about our data types and all these things. Now we'll start discussing some new topics in the Python side. So this will start with the conditional statements. So we are having, or I can able to say, to handle kind of if-else logics in Python. We can go for conditional statements. So whenever you want to handle kind of if-else logics in the Python side, simply we can go for our conditional statements. So actually in the Python, if you want to use the conditional statements, or if you want to implement the if-else logic, we can able to give like this: if, and we need to provide else if, and we can able to provide else. So this is the syntax we can able to follow as part of using the if statement. It's a kind of a generic statement I given, but if you want to write the proper syntax, we have to give it like this: if, we need to give the condition 1, we need to give the colon. After that, then we have to specify what operation you want to perform. For example, I want to do some print operation. This is for condition 1. If you want to check the one more condition, then we have to give it as a else if, then give it as condition 2. For example, I want to perform the print operation again. And like this, you can able to add any number of conditions by depending on our requirement. We can able to give the one more condition. And for this also, I want to do some print operation. After completion of all the conditions, at the end, if you want to perform any other operation, simply we can give it as a else. And then I'm giving it as a print statement. So this is the way you can able to provide the syntax of your if-else statement on our Python side. Whenever you want to implement the kind of a if-else logic in the Python, then we can go for the conditional statement. As part of using the conditional statement, here we can go for if, elif, and else. So actually we can able to call it as a if statement. But if you want to apply the multiple conditions, here we can able to give the multiple conditions like this. For first condition, we are giving if condition 1 is going to satisfy, I want to print the data. Next, we are giving, if you want to give the one more condition, we are giving it as a else if. Instead of giving the else if, we are giving it as a shortcut elif. Then we are giving the condition 2. If this condition is going to satisfy, I want to print the data. And if you want to pass the one more condition, else if, I am giving the condition 3. Now, other than all these conditions, if statement is not satisfying all the conditions, at the end, if you want to display any other kind of data, then we are applying the else statement. With that, we can able to give the one more print statement by depending on the requirement. This is the way we can able to apply the if, else if, and else. So sometimes what will happen is, as per the requirement, directly we can able to give the if statement like this also. If condition 1 is true, then print. I don't want to check any other conditions. Directly we can able to give the else statement. else I'm giving it as a print. So this is the way also we can able to frame the if else statement. Whenever you don't want to check any multiple conditions, if you want to check only one condition, then we can able to give it as a if condition print, and we can able to give it as a directly else statement. Otherwise, if you want, you can give only like this also. By depending on the requirements, Andy. By depending on the requirement, either we can follow the first syntax or we can able to follow the second type of if else statement, or directly we can able to give the only if condition also by depending on our requirement. But overall here we need to understand when we need to apply the if, when we need to apply the else, and when we need to apply the elif. As I told you, whenever you want to apply the multiple conditions, we need to go for the elif. If you are starting with the if statement, we need to go with the if keyword. And if you want to satisfy all the conditions at the end, if you want to populate any other kind of statements or you want to perform any other kind of operation, then we can able to apply the else. So this is the way simply we can able to understand how we can able to implement the if else logic on top of our Python programming. We'll take one example. With the example, you can able to get a clear picture. Now see, for example, I am giving the values like this. I am giving a equal to 10. Then I am giving b equal to 20. Now I want to check whether a is greater than b or a is less than b or a and b both are equal. So I want to check this information. I want to give the values as a equal to 10 and b equal to 10. After that, I want to get the output. A is greater than b or a is less than b, or a and b both are equal. But whatever the data we are giving, based on that data, we need to populate either this statement or this statement or this statement. Now tell me how we can able to apply this, how we can able to populate these three statements according to the requirement. First, we need to verify A and B with our relational operators. We need to compare A is greater than B or A is less than B. If it is greater than B, I want to give the first statement. If it is less than B, I want to give the second statement. If both are equal, I want to give the third statement. Indirectly, as per the requirement, I want to verify data between A and B. Based on the data, either I want to populate it as a greater than or less than or both are equal. Indirectly, as part of this requirement, we need to apply kind of if else logic. Now to apply if else logic in the Python side, what we can do here, simply we can able to go for if, else if, and else by depending on the requirement. By using that, we can able to handle this requirement on top of this example. Now you try to give the answer. If you observe here I'm given the if condition 1 colon, then I'm given the print, but here I'm giving some gap. After that, again I'm giving the else if condition 2, I'm given the print statement. Here also I'm giving some kind of gap. Any cases why we are giving this gap, as we discussed in the previous classes? Why we are giving the gap like this? So see here in the Python, we need to follow indentation. It's nothing but for each and every line, we need to specify the spaces by depending on the type of the keywords which we are using. And here we are applying the condition 1 by using the if keyword. In the next line, we need to give some space, then only we need to give the print statement. Now, if you are giving like this without giving any kind of spaces, what will happen? It will throw the error saying that indentation is having the issue. That's the reason, as part of writing the Python programming, we need to take care of the indentation. With the help of the indentation, you won't get any kind of errors. But if you observe here, what is the purpose of indentation in the Python? If you are giving this kind of spaces and everything properly, it is very easy to understand, or it is very easy to read the code. If you remember on the day 1 of the Python, we discussed about Python, we can able to read the code very easily because it is having a feature called as an indentation feature. Because of this indentation feature, we can able to read the code properly. But who need to follow this indentation? As a developer or as a person, whomever is going to write the code, he need to follow all this kind of indentation. With that, we can able to write the proper code. With that, we can able to read the code also properly. Now, as part of using the if statement, might be some people can able to get the question, sir, why we are giving all these kind of spaces? Why we are giving here? As part of the syntax or as part of indentation, we have to follow all these kind of things in our Python coding. Okay. Now coming to in this example, you try to give the answer how we can able to write the code. Or we'll do one thing. I will open the notepad. In the notepad, we'll write the code directly. Okay. So for example, here I'm giving a equal to 10 and I'm giving b is equal to 20. And after that, just I'm printing these values, print A and print B. Okay, so we are given the A value as a 10 and B value as a 20. Now, what is the requirement? I want to check whether A is greater than B or A is less than B or both are equal. That is the one I want to check here. So, what we can do simply we can able to apply the if statement. We are giving if
A greater than
A
B.
greater than B. I want to print output. If you see here, when we click on the enter, automatically it is taking the indentation. Sometimes if it is not taking the indentation also, we have to specify that indentation in the notepad, or if you are going to work in the IDLE also, it is taking that indentation automatically. But generally when you are going to face the problem, once I'm going to share all this code in the notepad, what you will do generally, you are going to perform the kind of copy paste operation. As part of doing the copy paste operation, might be this kind of spaces will miss only. That's the reason, as part of doing copy paste operation also, please verify whether indentation is coming properly or not. If there is no indentation properly, then automatically what will happen, you will get the errors. For the reason, whenever I'm going to share the notes with the code, please verify indentation is there properly or not. If it is not there, please add the indentation. With that, you won't get any kind of errors. Okay. Now here, if A is greater than B, what is my requirement? I want to print A is greater than B. I know this is very simple requirement, but first try to understand the simple requirement. With that, we can go for the next requirements. Now I want to verify the one more condition, or directly I want to give the else statement. I want to check one more condition. What is the one more condition? If A is less than B, then I want to print A is less than B. Okay. Now in the same way, at the end, see, there is the possibility for only three things. Either A is greater than B or A is less than B. What is the one more possibility? Might be both are equal. So for that reason, for the last one, I don't want to apply any condition. So we are giving it as a else statement. Here simply I'm saying that A and B are both equal. So this is the way simply we are building our code by using the if else statement. If A greater than B, print one statement. If less than B, print one more statement. If these two are not correct, then what is the third option? Both are can be equal. So I am giving the else statement. In the else statement, I am not giving any conditionality, because if A is greater than B, not satisfied. If A less than B, not satisfied. For all other kind of data, I want to get output as a simply A and B both are equal. That's the reason in the else we are not applying any kind of condition. This is the way simply we can able to write the code. After that, just click on this run button.
Else you are not given.
Sorry.
Not closed the inverted commas.
Yes,
Double
fine.
quote.
Else double.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Ante. So here now we are getting output as simply A is less than B. Now tell me, directly this code is running by taking the else if statement, or it is running from the top to bottom? Any guesses? As part of code execution, it is taken the if statement, then else if, or then else, or it is directly coming to the statement as part of execution?
From top to bottom.
See, it is going to perform the top to bottom validation. First, it is going to verify the condition one. If it not satisfied, then only it will go to the second condition. If it not satisfied, then only it is going to the third condition. Like that, it is going to work as a top to bottom. As part of if else logic, your code will execute from the top to bottom. Condition one, condition two, then else statement. That is the way your code will execute in our internal Python system. Now, comment here we are given the 10 and 20. For that reason, we are getting output as A is less than B. Now I want to change the values. How we can able to change the values for A and B here in the notepad? If you are doing the same thing in the ideally, again you have to assign the variables A equal to 30 and B equal to 30, something like that only. But in the notepad, here we have the simplified option. Just to go in this cell, give it as A equal to 30. Here also give it as B equal to 30. Just on this one.
Sir, yeah, before that, if A greater than B, if this condition, if it is satisfied only, if it satisfied only, then enters into the else if, sir.
Is there any? If it is not satisfied, if it is, for example, if A greater than B is satisfied, then what will happen? It will print the statement, your code will complete, execution is completed.
Then,
okay.
Then else, then did not enter into else if, right?
Yeah, it won't come to this statement only, because so in the first condition only everything is satisfied. For that reason, it won't enter into the second condition, it won't enter into the all other conditions also. Now, for example, if first condition is not satisfied, then only what will happen? It will come to the second condition. Now, for example, second condition is satisfied, then what will happen? it will not come to the third condition at all, because in the second condition itself it is given the data, it is condition is satisfying. For that reason it will print the data on top of your output. It will not come to the third statement. Wherever your condition is satisfying, there only your program will stop. It will not come to the other conditions. For example, if you see this example, you only try to do the answer. I am given the A equal to 30 and I am given the B equal to 30. I change the values here. Just click on the run button. I change the values. If you give print of A and B, we are getting values as a 30 and 30. Now you tell me, if I am going to run this program, how it is going to run? First, it is going to verify condition 1 not satisfied. Then it is coming to condition 2 not satisfied. Then it is coming to the else statement, which is nothing but it is running from condition 1. Then condition 2, both the conditions are not satisfied. For that reason, it is coming to the else statement. With that, if I am going to click on run button, now we can able to see A and B both are equal, which is nothing but it is checking the condition 1 and condition 2. Then only it is coming to the else statement. With that, with the 3 executions, it is given the final output only. Now, for example, here what I am doing is I am given the A equal to 30 and B equal to 20. Now you tell me how many conditions it is going to verify. Other people also. It is going to verify one condition or two conditions or all the 3 conditions.
Only one condition.
Only one condition, because
only one
condition. If you see the first one only, if A greater than B, 30 is greater than 20. In the first condition only, your condition is satisfying. So then why it will go to the second condition, third condition? It won't go only. In the first condition only, your condition is satisfying. 30 is greater than 20. That is the true statement. That's the reason in the condition 1, it is going to give the print statement. After that, it is not going to the second condition, not going to the third condition. Just will run this once. See, it is coming A is greater than B, which is nothing but in the first condition only we are getting the output. For that reason, it is not at all going to the second statement or third statement as part of our internal execution. This is the way simply we can able to understand how we can able to implement the if-else logic by depending on our requirement. Okay. Any questions up to here? Please ask me. Okay. If no question, just I will give one requirement. You try to give the answer. And I am giving it as, for example, A is equal to 21. Okay, or whatever the value we are giving, I want to show that if it is even number, I want to populate the output as an even number. If it is an odd number, I want to populate the output as an odd number. That is my requirement. Now you try to give the answer. How we can able to frame the query for this requirement?
If else.
Yeah, how to apply the if else?
If
what is the meaning of even number or odd number? Whenever we are dividing any value with the 2, if you are getting the divider value as a 0, that we can able to call it as an even number. So just I'm giving it as a, what we have to do, we need to give the A divided by 2 or A percentage 2.
Modulus.
Yeah, how to give the modulus in the Python?
Percentage.
You have to give the percentage. Okay. So because I want to check the remainder value, and the remainder value should be 0, then only we can able to call it as an even number. So I'm giving A percentage 2 is equal to 0. Okay. Then I want to get print. I want to get it as a simply A is even number. Okay. Now, do we need to apply elif or directly we can apply the else statement?
else statement.
Yes,
We can able to apply the else statement, because here if it is not equal to 0, obviously we are going to get output as a 1 only. And that's the reason no need to apply the elif here. Directly we can able to apply the else statement. In the else statement, just I'm giving it as a print of A is odd number. So this is the one more example on top of the same if-else statement, but here we are not applying the elif because we are not applying the multiple conditions. Only we are checking the one condition. If it is not correct, directly I'm going to the else statement. Now if I'm going to run this, see we are getting A is a odd number. Now for example, just I'm changing the value here 21 to 22. What's happening? We are getting output as a is even number, which is nothing but as per the requirement. Whenever you want to apply the kind of if-else logic, or whenever you want to apply the kind of case-when statements in such kind of requirements, what we can do here, simply we can able to go for the if-else. This is the complete syntax. We can able to say A greater than B, else if, then we are applying the else statement. Otherwise, by depending on the requirement, if you want, simply we can able to give it as a if-else option only. Now, see for example, just I'm giving A is equal to 21. After that, I am giving only the if statement. Now tell me, if I am given the only if statement, it will work or it will give any kind of error. If I am given the only if, I am not given the elif or I am not given the any else statement, if I am going to run this, will it work or it will give any kind of error?
Will work.
It will work or it won't give any kind of error. But if you see here, even after clicking on the run button, it is not giving any kind of data. What is the reason? Because here it is checking the first condition. First condition is not satisfied. You have to specify any else statement. You have to specify any kind of else if statement. That's the reason even if you are going to click on the run button, it is not displaying any kind of data. Now, for example, instead of 21, now I'm giving it as a 22. Now, what will happen? Whatever the if statement be given, here it is satisfying the condition. With that, what will happen? Simply we can able to get output as a is even number. Indirectly, I'm trying to say, if you want, we can able to apply the only if statement also by depending on your requirement. It won't give any kind of error, but it is checking only one condition. But in the previous example, as per the condition, as per the requirement, if you want to check the multiple conditions, we can able to go for if, elif, and we can able to apply the else statement. Otherwise, if you want, you can able to apply the only if else statements also by depending on our requirement. Now you tell me in the program, can we able to apply only one elif, or we can able to apply the any number of else if by depending on the requirement?
Any number of them.
We can able to apply any number of else ifs by depending on our requirement only. So this is the way simply we can able to understand about our conditional statements, how we can able to implement by using our if else logic. Okay. Any questions again up to here, please ask me. Okay. If no questions, now just we'll try to understand loop concepts. So we are having one type of loop called as a for loop. Already we discussed about this for loop with the multiple examples in the previous examples, and just so you people writing with the answer when we discuss about the for loop. For example, I defined a list. I defined a list. For example, I defined the list as a equal to 10, 20, 30, and 40. Okay. And now my requirement is I want to display all these values are like this. What we have done? Indirectly, I want to iterate each and every element on top of the A list. And if you want to display the complete A list directly, what we can do, just we can able to give it as a print of A directly. But my requirement is I want to iterate one by one list. With that, I want to get the data on top of my output. Whenever you want to perform the iterative operation, which is nothing but I want to check the first element, second element, third element, and fourth element. Whenever you want to perform that kind of iterative operations, what we can do here, we can able to apply the concept called as a loops. And actually we are having the for loop and we are having the while loop also. For now, we'll discuss about the for loop. Later, we'll discuss about the while loop. As per the requirement here, if you want to perform any kind of iterative operations, we can able to go for loop concepts. In the loop, we are having the one of the type of loop called as a for loop. With the help of the for loop, easily we can able to perform the iterative operation. Now, whenever we are going to use the for loop, this is the syntax. We have to give for I in this example I'm telling what is the meaning of I here? I is nothing but this is the kind of a iterator value. It is checking all the values in the A. What is the meaning of A here? A is nothing but list. It is going to the list. In the list, it is iterating all the values. Whatever the value it is iterating, it is storing that value into your I variable. I is a variable, A is a variable. But coming to A, this is the list which we already defined. Coming to I, what is happening here? We have to define any kind of values. But as part of your code execution, I will take each and every value from the A indirectly. As part of iteration, it is taking the first value to the I. Then in the second iteration, it will take the second element. Third iteration, third element. Fourth iteration, fourth element. Like that, as part of iteration, it is assigning the values to your I variable. Now, if you want to display this I variable, simply we can able to give it as print of I. What we can do, simply we can able to give it as a print of I. Just will run one example. With that, you can able to get the clear picture. I'm giving A is equal to, for example, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Just I'm going to click on one button. Now, after that, if you observe here, just I'm copying this code. For I in A, this is the code I'm copying. Now, see what's happening? We are getting the indentation error. Actually, this is the mistake generally students also will do only. They are writing the code in the notepad. Directly, they are copying this into the notebook, or they are copying that into the IDLE. If you are going to copy like that, what will happen? You are going to get the errors. And for that reason, to avoid that kind of error, what we have to do here, we need to follow the indentation. Now, as part of using the first statement also, we have to give it as a indentation. Okay, indirectly I can able to say whatever line of the code you are writing, if it is depends on next line, then you have to follow indentation. So as part of this example or as part of previous example also, as part of if what we are doing, if condition 1 is true, you want to perform one operation. So you have to follow indentation. As part of else also, you have to perform some operation. So you have to follow the indentation. In the same way, as part of this for loop also, you want to repeat the loop. At the same time, you want to perform some operation here. For that reason, you have to follow the indentation. But generally, when you are going to face this kind of problem, only directly if you are going to write the code in the notepad, then you will face this kind of problem. Now what I will do here is, instead of writing the code here, directly I'm typing in the notebook for I in A, click on enter. Now see here, if I'm going to click on enter, as part of notebook, as part of writing the code, it is taking care of the indentation automatically. I given the for I in A, I clicked on the enter button. What's happening here? It is taking the indentation. Now just I'm giving it as a print of I. Click on top. Now what's happening here? It is going to the A list. It is checking how many number of elements it is having internally. With that, it is performing the repetitive operation. First one, it is given 10, next 11, next 12, 13, 14, 15. As part of a repetition or as part of iteration, it is iterating complete list. With that, we are going to get the data on top of your output. This is the way, in the simple way, we can able to understand what is the purpose of for loop and how we can able to use the for loop as part of writing our code. Okay. Morning also we discussed one example, and I'm giving for example for I in, I'm giving for example a range of 10. Then I'm giving print of 5. Any guesses what is the output we are going to get? I am not giving any list here. I'm giving the range of 10. Same example we discussed in the morning session.
0 to 9.
What is the purpose of range? It will populate the sequence values, and now to iterate all those sequence values, we are using the for loop here. With the help of I, it is capturing all the elements in the range values. Those values are populating with the help of the print statement. Here I'm not giving the start value, or I'm not giving the increment value. By default, it will take it as a 0 as a start value, and it is taking increment value as a 1. With that, we are going to get the data. Now if I'm going to run this one, what's happening, we are getting the output like this. This is the way simply we can able to understand how we can able to apply the for loop as part of our requirement. Just 1 minute only. Okay. This is the way we can able to apply the for loop. Now just I will give one small assignment. You try to give the answer how we can able to achieve that requirement. So far we are seeing all the simple examples and it. Now my requirement is like this. I want to create a set. What I want to create here, I want to create a set. In that set, I want to populate all even numbers. What is the requirement here? In that set, I want to populate all even numbers which are present from 0 to 50. So what is the requirement? I want to create a set. In that set, I want to populate all the even numbers. In that even number, what we have to do here, we need to populate the data from 0 to 50. That is the way we need to populate the data. Within the 0 to 50, what's the even numbers we are having? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. With all these values, I want to create the set. So far, what we are doing? We are creating the set by giving the values manually. Now my requirement is I want to create the set dynamically. In that set, I want to populate all the even numbers which are present in between 0 to 50, which is nothing but I want to get output like this. For example, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. This is the way I want to get values till 48. Can you try in your systems? Just I will give 1 minute of time only. So can you please try from your side? I hope everyone is doing the practice in parallel with me. If you are doing the practice in parallel with me, so please try to do this assignment. You can do it in the ideally, or you can do it in the notebook by depending on your convenience. No restriction, only notebook or ideally only. By depending on your convenience, please perform this assignment. Any question on the requirement side? If you are unable to implement, that's a different story, Andy. But if you are having any question on the requirement side itself, please ask me. Because in the real time also, not only on Python side, in the data engineering side also, if you cannot able to implement the code, that's a different story. But if you yourself cannot able to understand the requirement and without knowing the requirement, you cannot able to perform any kind of operations as part of our real-time process. That's the reason whenever I'm giving this kind of questions or whenever I'm giving this kind of assignments, please try to understand the requirement. If you are struggling to understand the requirement itself, please ask me. I will between the requirement. With that, you can able to perform the practice. Very simple. Just I want to create a list. In this list, I want to populate the data automatically. So what data you want to populate? From 0 to 50, whatever the even values we are having or even numbers we are having, all those values I want to populate on top of my set. That is the requirement. Okay, so please help me. So how to build the code? I will type here. Please help me.
For I in range. For I in range.
In range.
Why we are going for the range here? Because as per the requirement, from the 0 to 50, I want to take the data. Indirectly, I want to perform the range operation because 0 to 50, I need to verify each and every value. With that, I want to find out what is the even number. With that only, I want to populate the data. For that reason, as per the requirement, step 1, we need to populate data for 0 to 50. How to populate data for 0 to 50? And morning we discussed about the range function. By using that, just we have to give it as a 0, 50. But if you are given the only range of 0, 50, what will happen? It will populate the data. But my requirement is I want to iterate all the values from the 0 to 50. For the purpose of iteration, what I am doing here, I am using the first statement. By using the for loop, we are going to iterate all the values from the 0 to 50. This is the step 1. Then what next?
If condition.
If condition.
Once it is going to populate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, for each and everything, for each and every element, we need to verify whether it is an even number or not. For that reason, if you want to verify that, we have to apply the if statement. What is the if statement here? We need to give
If I modular
I percentile 2 is equal to 0.
Then
print I is even.
no.
You want to print or you want to add the element to the set?
We want to add the element to the set.
I equal to I.
We have to declare the set above this for loop.
So here actually we need to add the element to the set and if you remember morning we discussed about how to add the elements to the set. So why I'm giving this example is from morning onwards whatever we discussed we can able to collate all the things into the single example and morning we discuss about the list that we are discussing, morning we discuss about the range that we are discussing in this example, and now we discuss about the if statement that also we are covering, we discuss about the for that also we are covering here. Now my requirement is after checking this condition I percentile 2 is equal to 0 is nothing but that number is a kind of a even number. If that is a even number, I want to add that element to the set here. If you want to add the element, what is the method we have to use or what is the function we have to use?
Dot add.
We need to add. Add. So which value you want to add? You want to add the range or you want to add the
I value.
I want to add the I. So I'm giving the add of I. Okay. But if you see here, I am going to run only these 3 lines of code and but if I'm going to run only these 3 lines of code, what will happen? It will give the error saying that there is no element called as a because first thing we have to define the set and without defining the set, we cannot able to add the elements on top of the set. Now indirectly my requirement is I want to define the empty set. You tell me how to define the empty set.
Above the for loop, A is equal to set.
This one?
No,
or
set.
we need to give set of this one.
Set of, yes.
Set
Set
of.
of that.
If I'm going to give this one, what will happen?
That is a list.
Error.
Dictionary.
This is a dictionary and so morning I discuss about this statement also. Indirectly you can able to recap each and every point morning we discussed. With that only I am trying to give the example for this example. Whenever you want to define the empty set, okay, we have to give it as a is equal to set open bracket and close bracket. Generally if you want to represent the set we are given the curly braces, but if you are going to give the curly braces, what will happen? Empty curly braces, it will take it as a dictionary. But my requirement is I want to create the empty set. For that reason we have to give it as a is equal to set of open bracket and close bracket. Indirectly the first step we are creating the empty set. On top of this empty set we are adding the elements here, so we are adding it as a dot add of I. Now you tell me, do we need to add any else condition here in this requirement?
No need, sir.
In this requirement, it's not required because my requirement is if it is an even number, just I want to add those values to the set A. That's the reason no need to add any kind of else statement here. Directly we can able to run this code on top of our requirement. So I will run this code in the notebook. I'm giving simply A is equal to set of this one. So we created the empty set. After that, just I'm typing the code one more time here and for I
in
range of 0, 50. After that, I'm giving if statement if I percentage 2 is equal to 0.
That is gone. Yeah.
Then I want to give it as a dot add of I. So with this, what will happen? As part of checking this condition, if this condition is going to satisfy, then only those values will be added to your A set array. So this is the way simply we can able to frame the code. Just click on run. Now execution is completed. Now my requirement is I want to see the data in the A. So how to see the data in the A?
Print of
Just give it as a print A. If you want to see all the elements at a time, we can give it as a print of A. Click on enter. Now see, it is popping data for all the even numbers on top of your output. So simply you can able to collect, recap our list topic and the range topic and if statement and for loop. Like this is the way only we are going to write the programs in the real time. Not this kind of programs only populating the even numbers or odd numbers, but in the real time we are going to see the different kind of requirement. But even if you are going to work on the different kind of requirements also, our basic concepts are going to change. No, our basic concepts are always same only. Even if we are going to see the 10 pages of code also, in the 10 pages, what we are going to see? We are going to see the for loop or if loop, or we are going to see the while loop, or we are going to see the list set range. Only these only we are going to see as part of our real time also. But only thing is nothing but first we need to understand all these individual concepts. And once you understand the individual concept, then what we can do here, automatically you can able to write any kind of code by depending on our requirements. Okay. Now my one more requirement here is, now what we did, we added the data to the, yeah, please.
Sir, is that mandatory? We should use I for.
Yeah, we have to use the I. So you can give the I, or you can able to give the J, or you can able to give the X, or you can, for example, giving it as a, or I'm giving my name here and give string. So nothing will happen. It's a variable. Okay, so generally most of the times we are giving the I. That is a kind of a habituation for the faculty studies. So I'm giving it as a I. No need to give the I. So here, if you want, you can give any kind of variable. But if you are given the Srinu as a variable here also what I need to do? I need to change Srinu percentage 2 is equal to 0. A dot add of Srinu, whatever the variable we are giving here, that variable we need to pass in the remaining lines also.
And here we want the even numbers in 0 to 50, right?
Yes.
So why can't we give 51? Because if 50 also before 51.
If you see my requirement here, I said that till 48 only I want to get the data. For example, if you want to get the till 50, so for example, you want to populate the 50 also. What you can do is simply do the change. Instead of 50, give it as a 51. Then what will happen? It will add the value for 50 also. If you want to get the data before 50 only, then you have to give it as a 50. But if you want to get the data up to 50, so there is difference only before 50 up to 50. Before 50 is nothing but till 49. So before 50, only 48 is the even number. If I'm calling it as up to 50, then I want to populate the data for 50 also. If you want to populate data for 50 also, then what you can do, just give it as a 51 here. With that, you can able to get data for 50 also by depending on your requirement.
Answer, what happened if we did not mention a dot add I, directly print of I?
If you are given the print of I, what will happen? It will just print the values.
Print the same even.
Yeah, so see, morning I told you, right? If you are getting any such kind of questions, just you can try your own. See, for other people also telling, whatever the questions you are getting or whatever the experiments you want to do, blindly you can able to perform all the experiments on top of the notebook or on top of your ideally. If you are doing any mistakes, what will happen? It will give the error. If you are doing everything properly, what will happen? It will give the output. Because of writing the code, nothing is going to happen on top of your system. Your system won't crash and nothing is going to happen. That's the reason. If you are getting any kind of confusions, or if you are getting any kind of different thoughts, or if you are having some kind of other ideas, and instead of thinking in the air, directly you can able to perform those operations in the notebook or in the ideally. With that, with your own hands, you can able to understand what is the question, what is the answer. Now someone is asking that instead of giving the a dot add of I, so I'm giving it as a simply print statement. If I'm giving the print statement, what will happen here? just it is going to print the data, except that it is not going to perform any of. It's my mistake. I give the spelling mistake. Just one second. So I give the print statement. Earlier I give the syntax wrong print statement here. So I given the print statement. After just click on run. Now see, if you click on the run, what's happening? It is displaying the output, or it is adding all these even numbers into your list. It is displaying only the output. But what is my requirement? I don't want to display the data. I want to add all these elements to the list. For that reason, we are adding it as a dot add of IND. So with that, what will happen? It is adding all the elements on top of your empty set. With that, we are going to achieve our requirement. Okay. Any other questions up to here? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're running all the in the one place, like a is equal set and for loop and print, it's getting like first we'll getting as 0, then 0, 2, like that it's coming, sir.
I didn't get that. So you okay? 1 second.
Yeah,
I'm replicating your question here. You are saying that I'm giving a equal to set of this. After that, I'm giving this first statement. Okay. This is the one you want to run.
Yeah. A dot I also. A dot add.
A dot add. Okay. I'm giving a dot add. Okay.
Yeah. Print. Here we are writing the same one.
Okay. If you are given. Okay. So if you are given the print also, what will happen? First, it is going to add the elements on top of your list A. Okay. Other than adding, what is the one more operation you want to perform? You want to print the data in the I value. That's the reason what will happen if I'm going to click on this. See what's happening? It is printing all the elements. Why it is printing? Because I've given the print statement. Okay. But before this line of the code, what is the one more line you added? You added the a dot add of I, which is nothing but by using this line, what will happen? It will add all the elements on top of your set. Okay. Now, for example, if you want to see the data in the set, what you can do, simply give it as a print of A. So with that, you can able to see the values like this. Is it clear? You are adding two lines of the code. And one is for adding the elements to the list. Second one is the thing but for printing the data. That's the reason in this step.
Print A, sir. Print A.
Want to add print A? Okay. If you are, okay, you tell me if I'm going to add the print A, what will happen? First time as part of iteration, it is going to contain all the elements, or it is going to contain only one element?
One element.
Only one element. Okay. As part of second iteration.
So
in the second iteration, what will happen?
One more element.
It is going to contain the one more element, which is nothing but first time it will give the 0, second time it will give the 0, 2, then it will give 0, 2, 4, then it will give the 0, 2, 4, 6, because you are adding the print A, which is nothing but after adding the element, one element, immediately you want to print the data. That's the reason first time it is giving one record, second time it is given the 2 records, third iteration 3 records, fourth iteration 4 records. Like that, you are going to get the multiple values on top of your output. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes, I will run this once. See, you only can remember. See, first time given the first iteration, we are adding only 0. Second iteration, 0 to 2. Third iteration, 3 elements we added. V in the sense your program is adding only. Fourth iteration, 0, 2, 4, 6. Like that's what is happening here. Till the last iteration, it is adding all the values. Now, because of applying the print on top of your list, it is giving all the values like this. But at the end, in your list, what is the value it is storing? At the end of the program, what is the value it is showing? Whatever the last value we are getting, that value only storing on top of your list. That's the reason if I'm giving the print of A in the other cell, it is giving only these values on top of your output screen. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it writing all the thing, it one like .py file. If we need to get the final set, how we can get that, sir? Because one tab we are writing all the code, then we are doing the print A. Yes, so that time we are getting only one row with all the set. So if you are writing the one notepad, right? So how?
See, now your requirement is indirectly after completion of all the for operations, you want to get the print, right? So just to remove the indentation. And so what is happening here? This for loop is applicable only up to here. Because we are following the indentation up to here. Now, after completion of the entire for loop, you want to display the data. That's the reason we are giving the print and for in the same line. What it means indirectly? it is going to complete the complete for loop execution. Then only it is coming to the print statement. Just we'll check that. We'll run this.
Got it.
That's what's happening. We are getting the
coming.
output like this. Okay. That's the reason indentation is going to play the very important role. If you are given the indentation here, it is giving one kind of output. If you are given the indentation here, it is giving some other kind of output. And that's the reason earlier I mentioned that indentation is going to play the very important role. It might give the syntax errors, or it is given the completely different kind of the data. Earlier we given the print here below the A. There we got the some kind of output, but if I'm given the print at the beginning of the line, then what's happening here? We are getting some other kind of output. That's the reason we need to understand where we have to give the print statement properly. Accordingly, you have to specify all those things as part of writing your programs. But might be some people can able to get the question, sir, how we can able to understand where we have to give the indentation? How we can able to understand? While doing the practice, easily you can able to understand that very slowly, and immediately you won't be able to understand. But slowly, once you are going to perform the practice continuously, automatically what will happen? You can able to understand where we have to give the indentation, where we should not give the indentation. Okay. Any other questions on this small program? Okay. If no question, Andy, now I will give one more requirement. Try to give the answer. When I'm giving the print here, what's happening here? We are getting output for 0 to 48. Now my requirement is on top of this set A. For each and every element, I want to increment one value, which is nothing but here I want to get it as a 0 means I want to get 1, 2 means 3, 4 means 5, 6 means 7, next 9, next 11. This is the way I want to get the data. Don't think that I'm not given the requirement. Populate the odd numbers. And what is the requirement? I am having the set called as a. Within the A, we are having all these values. Now my requirement is I want to populate the data into one more set. In that set, I want to populate values as increment by 1. For every element, I want to increment 1. With that, I want to add the data into the other set. Again, the same question. Any question on the requirement? Increment 1 for each element of set A, which is nothing but and populate data into B set. As per the requirement, I want to get output as simply B 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. This is the way I want to get. Don't cleverly write it as I percent will do not equal to 0. Now I don't have any such kind of requirement. I don't want to populate the odd numbers. Here my requirement is whatever the data set we are having on top of the data set for each and every element, I want to perform the increment 1 value. That is my requirement. Can you help me how we can able to frame the query or how we need to frame the code?
8.8 I plus 1.
Sorry, 8.
8 I plus
Okay.
1.
I plus 1. Okay.
Well, if
Tell
you
me the
change
complete
this,
program.
I think it will be better.
Tell me the complete program. For
I in range.
Range? Why we need to go for range? That's why I'm saying I don't have any requirement for even number. I don't have any requirement for the odd number. Try to understand the requirement, Andy. So here what I'm telling, already we are earlier example we don't have any set, but in this example already we are having the data set called as a. Okay. Now on top of this data set, I want to increment each and every element value as a 1. With that, I want to populate the one more set.
So for I in B.
In B or A?
Sorry, A.
I in A. Then what's the requirement here? I want to increment the value for 1 and D. So what I will do here is just I will give it as a S is equal to 1. After that, I'm saying that S is equal to S plus I. So what I'm doing here simply, otherwise instead of complicating this, simply we can give it as B dot add of I plus 1, because for each and every element of A, I want to perform the plus 1 operation. For that reason, just for simplification, directly we can able to give it as a B dot add of I plus 1. With that, it is performing the arithmetic operation on top of your each and every element. At the same time, it is going to populate, it is going to add the elements on top of your B. But tell me, before running this program, do we need to perform any other operations? Before running these 2 lines of the code, do we need to perform any other operations? we need to define the empty data set, right? We have to define the empty data set called as a B and D. After defining the empty data set, then only we have to perform this operation. Now just I will run all these 3 lines of code here. So see here, just I'm repeating the requirement. In the A data set, already we are having the data in this example. On top of this set, I want to add the increment by 1 for each and every element. If it is 0, I want to get 1. If it is 2, I want to get 3. If it is 4, I want to get 5. After incrementing each and every element, I want to add all those values on top of your B set. That is the requirement. That's the reason. First, we are creating the empty set. After that, we are iterating on top of the set called as a. As part of iteration, we are getting the elements. We are incrementing all these elements with the +1. After that, I am adding all those values to the B set. For the reason, we are giving it as a B dot add. Now you tell me what is the meaning of add here? It's the addition or adding the element to the B.
Adding the element to the B.
Yeah, don't get the confusion. Requirement is addition. So sorry is given the add and it. That's not the correct statement. Plus is for addition, incrementing. Add is for adding the element to the B. Okay. So after that, just I'm going to click on run button. Now simply I'm giving print of B. See what's happening. Simply we can able to get output as a 1. So wherever we are having 0, incrementing by 1, 2, increment by 3, 4, increment by 5, 48, increment by 49. This is the way simply we can able to get the data on top of your output screen. Any questions on top of this example, please ask me. If no questions, I will give one more requirement. Try to give the answer until. Create 2 sets with name as even underscore 1 and odd underscore 1. And populate even numbers into first set and odd numbers into second set. So try from your side. Just I will give 1 minute or 2 minutes of time. I want to create the 2 sets with the I am giving the names also. I want to create it as a even underscore 1 set, odd underscore 1 as a 1 more set, and in the both the sets I want to populate the even numbers. Even numbers into first set I want to populate and odd numbers into the second set I want to populate, and I want to perform this operation for 0 to 100 values. Don't think in the air and don't think, okay, this is the way I can do, that is the way I can do only. Please try to write the program in the system, in the notebook or in the ideally with your hands. Then only what will happen, you can able to understand how many mistakes we are doing as part of writing the program only. So because of discussing all the topics now, you can able to think that, okay, this is the way we have to write, this is the way we need to apply the for, we need to apply the if. Don't think in the air like that. Please implement the program in the system. Then only you can able to understand how many errors we are going to get, how to resolve those kind of errors, how we need to write the code, what is the indentation. If you want to understand all this kind of information, you have to write the code with your own hands and you need to run the code in the notebook or ideally with that only you can able to get the clear picture how we can able to write the Python scripting. Again, I'm repeating, don't think in the air. Okay, now just I'm going to write. Please help me at it. So what's the first step? Directly we need to apply the first statement or we need to perform any other operations as part of writing the program in this example.
Initially create 2 empty sets.
Yeah, we need to create the empty set. So give it as even underscore 1 is equal to set of this one. After that, again I'm giving one more set, odd underscore 1 is equal to set of. And after that, we have to apply the first statement for I in I'm giving range of 0, 100. After that, I'm giving
I mod 2
if I
is equal to 0.
percentile 2 is equal to 0. Then I want to add the data to which set you want to add. For even one, you want to add. So even one dot add is equal to 5. Okay, this is for if statement. Next, what we can do directly, we can apply the if statement directly. Here I'm giving odd one dot add of I. So this is the way simply we can able to write the program to achieve the requirement. Here also we are not discussing any new topic only. You know the sets, you know the empty set, you know the range, you know the if else logic, you know the first statement, you know the add operator. By using all those things, just I'm trying to give the one more example. After just give it as print of. We are getting all the even numbers from 0 to 100. The same way just I'm giving even print of odd underscore 1. We are getting the data from 1 to 99. So this is the way simply we can able to write the program. Just I'm giving this example in the combination of if else statement. And if you observe, we are applying the for loop in the combination of if and else. With that, we can able to handle the program here. Okay. Now in the same way, just I will give one more requirement. Try to do the answer.
Sir, in this,
Yeah, please.
in the if statement, we are writing equal to 0.
Yes.
If I am going to write if not equal to 0, take it as odd. That we can't work, sir.
Yeah, we can do like that also. See,
Sir, I got some error in syntax.
how we are with the not equal to this. So this is the way we have to do, I think.
Okay.
So for your convenience, I'm running this.
Okay, sir.
And the program. Yeah, this is the it's not giving any error. So same thing, just instead of equal to, you have to be the not equal to like this, you have to be the exclamation symbol, then equal to. So with this, you can able to apply the not. It might be you tried it like this.
Yes, sir.
Less than greater than.
Yes,
not the, so this is the way you have to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I just have to give one more requirement and try to give the answer for this. I am having some list like this, course list is equal to, I'm having GCP here. So for example, all these are the course list we are having in the list entry. So in the list we are having all these values. Now my requirement is I want to populate one more list, course underscore list underscore 1. Here get the data for all these values. But here requirement is I want to change first letter to capital letter. For each element in above list, convert first letter as capital letter. Populate the data into other set, other list. Or instead of list here also I will say this is the kind of a set. Okay, so don't go to the Google and don't search for in the Google. And if you're searching in the Google, no need to do all these kind of assignments. Please try with your own idea and please try with your own hands. Don't search in the Google. So immediately some people will go to the Google how to change the first letter to capital letter in the Python and they will write the program. In the real time, we'll do that activity only definitely. But as part of learning or as part of doing the practice, don't do that mistake. We need to understand the concepts. For the reason, just I'm giving this assignment.
Sir, do we have any function, predefined function in Python?
Already we discussed about some functions in the previous class. By using those functions only, we can able to achieve the requirement for this. Hope you are asking for this requirement only, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for this requirement, whatever the functions already we discussed in the previous classes, by using that, we can able to achieve the requirement. It's a kind of a recapping of the previous sessions. Previous session, morning session, and current session. Just one suggestion, as part of writing any programming or as part of writing any SQL queries, Sandy, what we have to do? Directly don't jump into the query or directly don't jump into the programming and understand the requirement. Think about what is the approach we need to follow. Once you understand the approach to achieve the requirement, then convert that approach into the program, and with that what will happen, you can able to get the clear picture of what you need to perform. Generally what I observed in the students is whenever in the interviews or in the general also, whenever anyone is giving any program or whenever anyone is giving any interview question in interview, directly they are going to start the writing the program like this. As part of writing, they will write the, for example, for. After that, they are able to understand what is the next step to perform, and for that reason, don't do that kind of mistake. First, to try to understand the requirement, think what is the solution or what is the approach to achieve the requirement. Once you understand the approach, it is very easy to write the program by recapping our discussed topics today. With that, you can able to write the programming or you can able to write the SQL queries also in the very, very easy way. Understand the approach, then only start writing the programming. Okay, can someone help me? So how we can able to achieve this requirement? First question. So I'm just writing the approach only. First thing, obviously we have to iterate complete set. Will you agree or not? We need to go to each and every element in the set. So we have to perform the iterate the complete set for all the elements only. That is the first operation, obviously. So for this, what we can do? We can go for first statement, for loop. After that, for each element, what operation we need to perform? I want to convert the first letter as a uppercase. Okay, indirectly, only first letter I want to convert to the uppercase. Remaining letters I don't want to perform any kind of changes only. Now, as per this statement, you try to give the answer. For example, if we take the GCP, from this GCP, what I need to do? I want to take first letter. After taking the first letter, I want to convert it into the uppercase. Okay. Now you tell me, from a string value, whenever you want to take the only first letter, what is the function we can able to apply, or how we can able to pick the only first letter of the string value? For example, here A is equal to GCP. Now I want to get output as a G. What we can do? This is the one of the topic we covered in the previous classes. Substring. I will discuss about the substring. We discuss about string slicing operations. If you remember, Andy, if you want to get the only first digit, what we can get, just give it as a of 0. If I am given the a of 0, what will happen? It is given the value called as a G. In the same way, this operation I want to perform for each and every element. For that reason only we are using the first statement. Here in the for what I will do, I will use as a for I in course underscore set. Okay, and after that we are getting the each and every element into the I. On top of this I, what I will do here, I will give it as a simply I of 0. If I'm giving the I of 0, what will happen? It is taken the only first letter. At the same time here, we need to convert that letter into the uppercase. For that reason, what we can do after the 0, just give it as a upper function. With the upper function, we can able to convert that letter into uppercase. But here what's happening? We are getting only first letter. Now, for this first letter, what is the data? Again, we need to append. We need to append the remaining letters. But you tell me how to get the remaining letters here. I want to get remaining letters which are nothing but CP. How to get it? First letter we are fetching by using the A of 0. After that we are performing the upper operation. With that we can able to get the value called as a G. But my requirement is I don't want to get the G. I want to get the complete GCP. But here we are fetching the only one letter. But now my requirement is I want to fetch the other letters except the first letter. What we can do? That also we discussed in the previous classes. If I'm giving like this, for example,
A 0, comma
0 or 1. I'm giving 1. I'm not giving the ending point. If you remember, if you are not going to give the end point, what will happen? Ending is nothing but last letter. I'm giving the starting position. I'm not giving any ending position only. What is the meaning of the statement? We are performing the slicing operation. It is trying to take the values from the first position. What is the position here? 0, 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3? Please don't think that we are discussing any new topic. Nothing we are discussing newly here. Everything already we discussed in the previous classes. Whenever we are given the GCP, internally what will happen? It will take it as a 0,
0,
1, 2. That is the position. Now here I am giving the 1. 1 is nothing but it is taking the values from the C letter. If you are not giving any ending value, what will happen? From the C letter, whatever the number of letters we are having, it will fetch all those values. And indirectly, if I am giving like this, what will happen? It is taking C and P. But you want to get the individual values like this, or you want to combine both the values? I want to combine both the values. How to combine the two string values here? How to combine two string values?
Okay.
Sir, when using A of 0, it will take entire GCP, sir.
No.
Why
If you are
G?
given the 0, it is taking the only starting position, which is nothing but you have performed the practice on the previous topics only. If you are given the 0, so am I giving say colon here? If you are given the colon, then it will take the data from the first letter till last letter. But here I am giving only A of 0. A of 0 is nothing but indirectly you are fetching the data for only the 0th element. For that reason, it is given the G. G dot upper is nothing but it is converting the G into the uppercase. After that, from the next position onwards, I want to get all the letters. For that reason, we are giving it as A of 1. But above we are not given the colon. But here I am giving the colon. What is the meaning of colon? From the first position to till last position, I want to get the data. That's the reason here I am not giving any ending position. So with this, what will happen? It is giving all the remaining letters except the first letter. Now, after getting the values like this, in between these two values, I want to perform the concatenation. With that, what will happen? Finally, we can able to get output called as a GCP, which is nothing but here we need to write A of 0 upper plus then we have to do it as a of 1. This is the way we have to write the program only. For each and every element, we need to perform this kind of operation. Fetch the first letter, convert it to upper. Fetch all the remaining letters. This one and this one I want to concatenate. Here I'm giving it as a plus operator. With the help of that, we can able to perform the plus operator. So with this, we can able to achieve our requirement as part of this example. I just will write the complete query. I'm creating this as an empty set. Now here, after iteration, I'm giving, for example, x is equal to, I'm doing this operation. So we are fetching the first letter, we are converting that to the uppercase. After that, we are fetching all the letters except the first letter. Then we are doing the concatenation. That result we are storing, for example, in the x. Now, whatever the result we are getting into the x, that value I want to add it to the second set. Suppose add on x. Okay, so this is the way simply we can able to write the program. Just we'll try to run the same thing in the notepad, notebook. So this is the first step. Second step. My mistake. So what we do here is
Yes, sir. Yeah. Here for I in set and
no, it's not here. So actually here I given the set name as a set underscore 1. How it will work. Yeah, this also I am correct. I am 0 and I am 1. Both the changes.
Course set underscore 1 dot add.
So actually just a small change here. So this is the way simply we can evaluate. So just observe here what we are doing. First, we are creating the course underscore set. There we are giving all the required elements by depending on our requirement. Now I want to create the new set. That's the reason we are creating the empty set by using the name called as a course underscore set underscore 1. After that, we are iterating each and every element by using the statement called as a first statement. For I in course set, that is the line of the code we are writing for iterating. After iterating, we need to take the each and every element. From each and every element, I want to take the only first letter by using this slicing operation. After that, I want to convert that letter as uppercase. By using the second slicing operation, we are fetching all the letters except the first letter. Now, in between both, I am going to perform the appending operation. Sorry, concatenate operation by using the plus operator. This entire result I am storing into the X variable. That X variable we are adding to our course underscore set underscore one set. With that we can able to achieve the requirement. Just I'm going to click on run button. After that, statement. What's happening? We are getting the output, but in the output we can able to see G is coming in the capital case and P is coming in the capital letter and A also coming in the capital letter and S also coming in the capital letter. This is the way simply we can able to understand how we can able to populate the data into output. Now immediately some people can able to ask the question, sir, here first one is the GCP, here why it is showing first one in the SQL? Any guesses? Any answers? That also we discussed in the morning class.
Set is another set of element.
Set is a kind of a storing all the data in the unordered way. Okay, don't expect every time we are going to get the data in the same order only. So here what will happen? We are going to get the data in the unsorted way. So here this is the example you can able to see. We are having the first value as a GCP, but coming here in the output, what's happening? We are getting all the output values as a like this. Okay, so this is the way simply you need to understand how we can able to get the data. Now here what I'm doing is just I'm converting it as a small cases. Now see in the course underscore set we are having the small letters for the all the first one. Now after that what I am doing here, I am converting all the first letters into the capital letters by depending on my requirement. For the purpose of doing this operation, this is the way we can able to write the program. Again I am repeating, as part of this program we are not discussing any new topic only. Only thing is nothing but just we are recapping our slicing operations whatever we discussed in the previous class. With that simply we can able to write the data, write the code like this. Any questions on top of this code, please ask me.
This in terms of set, unordered means it displays in an unordered way or stores in unordered way.
Internally, as part of storing or as part of retrieving, as part of displaying, also your data is coming in the unordered way.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions on top of this program? Please ask me. And don't think that Sir is explaining everything fastly and we are unable to catching it up only. So I'm going very slow. Actually, here again, that's why I'm saying that we are not discussing any new topic as part of this example. You know the first statement, you know the slicing operations, you know everything, and I'm explaining about the requirement. Who cannot able to understand all these things? If you have to completed the practice on the previous topics only, you cannot able to understand what we are discussing here. But if you did the practice on the previous topic, it is very easy to understand what we are discussing as part of our today's session. If you want what I will do here is just I will give a small example. I am giving A is equal to GCP. After that, just I am giving A of 0. What's happening? We are getting the only first letter, but you want to get the first letter and you want to convert this into the uppercase. I want to convert it into the upper, so I am giving it as a upper separately. Click on run. Now see, we are getting the first letter that is converting into the uppercase. Now, except the first letter, I want to get the remaining letters only. So for that reason, I am giving A of 1 colon. I am not giving any ending position. If you are not giving any ending position, what will happen? It is taking the data from the first element to all the remaining values. It is populating on top of your output. Just will run this. See, we are getting the GCP, but you want to get the individual outputs like this, or you want to combine both the outputs. I want to concatenate both the outputs. For that reason, just we are doing the operation as like this plus this one. So with this, we are getting output as a GCP. Again, some people can able to get the question, sir, you are doing this operation on top of GCP. Then what about the remaining values? How it is iterating all the values until with the help of the for loop, it is iterating on top of your each and every element. With that, it is performing the same operation. Whatever the operation we discussed here, same operation is going to happen on top of your each and every element in the set. With that, it is populating the variable called as a X. This X variable we are adding on top of your second data set, second set by depending on the requirement. With that, you can able to get all the required values on top of your output. Still, if anyone is having the question, please ask me.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. In the if condition, we are defining a one condition, right? So in that, can we give multiple conditions?
Yeah, you can give the multiple conditions, but tell me whenever you are given the multiple conditions, what we have to do, as we discussed earlier, sometime back. we need to apply the relational operators, which is logical operators. We are given the condition 1 and you are given the condition 2. In between those conditions, what we need to apply? You need to apply the AND operator or OR operator by depending on your requirement. With that, we can able to apply the multiple conditions also by depending on our requirement.
That's okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions over here? If no questions, just I will give a requirement only. After completion of the class from your side, please do the practice. Now see, this is the requirement which we already discussed. Now here what I'm telling, from 0 to 100 values, I want to populate this data only, but here I am not defining the range in requirement. My requirement is for any range, my program should work, which is nothing but after writing the program, I will give either 0 to 20 or I will give 10 to 40 or I will give it as 40 to 100. So like this, by depending on my convenience only, I want to change these values. Earlier we written the program for 0 to 100, but now my requirement is I don't want to give these values as a static values only. Either I will give it as a 0 to 20, or I want to give it as a 10 to 40, or I want to give it as a 40 to 100, or I want to give it as a 60 to 50 to 80, something like that. Okay, randomly I want to run the program by giving different values only. So to achieve this requirement, I want to write the program. Any guesses what we have to do here? Anyone?
Arguing.
Command line arguments.
Like a.
You have to go for command line arguments. Okay, that's a perfectly correct answer. You want to do it as assignment or you want me to explain this one?
Try, sir.
Please try from your side. If I'm telling everything what will happen, you will feel everything is going good only. So if you are going to try with your own hands, then only you can able to understand how what we are discussing and how you need to do all these things only. So this assignment, please take from your side. I am only given the hint also. Actually, if you observe, already for this one, we discuss about program how to write. Okay. Now just what I'm doing here on top of this, just I'm adding the additional requirement. Instead of giving the static values as a 0 to 100, I want to do this operation dynamically, which is nothing but just I'm giving the some more clues only. Write the program, just give it as even underscore odd dot py. Now first time I want to give it as 0 20. With this what will happen, I need to populate all the even values and odd values from 0 to 20. Same program I want to run one more time. Then I want to get output, I want to give values as a 10 to 40. Same program I want to run one more time. There I want to give it as a 40 to 100. This is the way multiple times I want to run the program by passing the multiple types of the values only. So this kind of thing, this kind of concept only morning we discuss, which we can able to call it as a command line argument. By using the command line arguments, we can able to achieve this requirement. Morning we discuss on the basic example on top of the command line argument. Now we are trying to include multiple topics on top of this command line argument. By using that, please try from your side. If you cannot able to write the code, then in the tomorrow session I will explain how we can able to write the code on top of this example. Is it fine? Okay. And one more thing, Andy. Every day afternoon from 2:30 to 4, our team is conducting doubt session. Okay. They mentioned that only few people are attending those classes, Andy. Okay. I think only 3-4 members are only attending those sessions. What it means indirectly is we are assuming that all the folks understanding all the concepts perfectly. Okay, so with this, just I can able to say, so after completion of the course or after 2 months, don't come back and say, sir, I didn't understand the topic, I didn't understand this topic, I know I'm facing the issue there, I'm facing issue here. Don't come up with such kind of things only, because every day our lab faculty is conducting the doubts clearing session. Please try to utilize that only. So don't think that so lab faculty don't know anything, why we need to attend those things. So don't think like that. Compared to you, definitely she knows something extra. And if you're asking any kind of question, definitely what will happen, they can able to provide the answers to you. For example, if they are stucking or if they are unable to give the answer, what will happen? she will reach out to me and I will give the guidance to her. With that, they will clear your doubts only. So this is the process. Okay, don't think that okay, lab faculty cannot able to give the answer. I should not able to join that one. Don't think like that, because I can able to say compared to you, definitely lab faculty is having the more knowledge. For the reason, definitely she can able to give the answers for your question. But if she is unable to give the answer, what will happen? She will reach out to me, and with that I will clarify the question. With that, she will clarify your questions only. This is the process we need to follow. If you are not at all attending the sessions, and after 1 week or after 10 days, you are going to give the comment, I am unable to catch up the classes. Or some people are giving the comment, I am not understanding what we are discussing in the classes. Okay, if you are not going to perform the practice, obviously you cannot able to understand whatever we are discussing as part of the classes. That's the reason, please do the practice regularly, please prepare regularly, and please attend these doubt sessions also regularly. Whatever the questions you are having, please try to get the clarifications in the doubt session. Otherwise, you can able to get the clarifications as part of our classes also. Any one of the approach in the classes or in the doubts clarification session, please try to utilize all these things. With that, you can able to get the proper knowledge on top of our each and every topic, whatever we are discussing. Okay, so please try to utilize it in the proper way. Any questions on top of these practical sessions? Any questions? Okay, and whenever it is possible, I will take the class on the 2:30 to 4:30. So nowadays I'm getting the daily calls in the 2:34 in my office. That's the reason this week I take them only one time, 2:30 to 4. But whenever I'm having the free time, definitely I will take the class in between 2:30 to 4. Whenever I'm not having the time, we are conducting the practice sessions. Please try to utilize, please try to join. If you have any kind of questions on the database side or GCS side, GCP side, or on the Python side, please try to get the help from the lab assistant and our junior faculty. With that, you can able to get the perfect knowledge on each and every topic. Okay, okay, then that's all for today, Andy. So afternoon 2:30, we don't have the session today also. So we'll meet in the tomorrow session, and tomorrow, this is for batch 19, sorry. So tomorrow we are having mock interviews. So I already communicated to all the batch 19 people. So please give your names to the admin team only. So with that, I can able to conduct the mock interviews as tomorrow. If you given the names already, well and good. If you're not given the name, please give the names before 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. So with that, tomorrow I can able to conduct the mock interviews. As part of mock interviews, we are conducting mock interviews for all the topics, whatever we discussed so far. So coming to batch 20 people, I will take the mock interviews for you next week only. But coming to batch 19, this week, tomorrow I'm going to conduct the mock interviews. Please give me your names to the lab admin team. And with that, tomorrow I'm going to take the mock interviews. Okay. Any other questions before winding up the class? No questions? Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.